Welcome to Service Learning course. My name is Harry, and today I will go with you the definition of the service learning and some of the key component of the service learnings. My email is here, harry.vannh@gmail.com, and also my phone, so that if you have any questions or you have anything that unclear, you can just contact me. So recently there are a lot of interest and requests to develop service learnings into the academics from a different school and university. But there are also a lot of misunderstandings and unclear about the definition of the service learnings, as well as how to differentiate between the service learning and other type of service and activities. I still remember in the year of 2010 when I went back to Vietnam and introduced the service learnings educational model. One of the lecturers told me that it is not different from the Green Summer Campaign, Mùa Hè Xanh, or the volunteering works. So at that time I tried to explain, but kind of unsuccessful. But luckily that recently there are a lot of interest from the academic lecturer to develop a service learning from the manager of the university and the school. And that's why we be able to develop the course that related to service learning. So when you go through this unit, you will be able to explain what service learning is. And also you are able to identify the key component of the service learning program so that you will be able to work together with your classmates for the projects. And you also can tell the people to the differences between the service learning and other type of the service activities. Okay, like I believe that a lot of people, also including me, we in somehow have participated in at least one volunteering work during the secondary school, high school, and universities, such as like selling something like flowers, the card during a special festival like Valentine's or the Women's Days to raise money for good causes for the charities, or organize a trip to orphanage or children in the hospital with very meaningful programs, giving some gift, and also organize some music for activities for the beneficiaries. Or as an individual, you also volunteer to do the unpaid work for a charity organization. But do these activities qualify as a service learning? So let's talk about the learning and volunteer. There are two big questions or dilemma when I were a student, and now I believe it's also for the student at the moment that we are encouraged to go to the school to receive a relevant skill and knowledge, but somehow we feel that going to school are very stressful. It's not fun, exciting, and it's very boring. And I hope it's not boring in my class, but most of the students think that it's not fun and exciting to go to the class to study. They prefer going for the volunteering work because it's fun, exciting. They can meet very cool people compared to the lecturer that they meet in the class. They can go to another places, learn a new culture, learn a new social issues, and they also can feel very proud of what they are doing. They can feel being a hero for a short time because they can make some changes in the community or in the societies. but the teacher and the parents sometimes not sometimes stop you to go for the volunteering work because they believe that it's not given the relevant skill and knowledge for your future or for your career in the future. So it's a dilemma. So how we can, there's two big questions: how we can make the learning more fun and exciting, and how we can make the volunteers given the relevant skill and knowledge for the participants' career, future career success in the future. So let's go through with me the example. There's a group of the students who are trying to clean up the river bench. There's a lot of rubbish in the river bench. So the class consists of around 30 students. They organize one day, clean up the rubbish. And after the rubbish, the river are more cleaner, and then it's more beautiful. But they didn't stop after the cleaning up. They moved to the next activity. They gather on the rubbish and trying to do the analysis, trying to differentiate what kind of rubbish in the riverbanks and where they are from. They gather all the information analysis, and they also brought the water sample back to the school in the lab to analyze, to understand how polluted the river at the moment. So after a few days of working, interacting, and discussion among the group and also with the lecturer and teacher, they are figure out that one of the fact that they figure out is there's a lot of cigarette butts and cigarette filters as the rubbish in the river bench, and they understand that it's coming from the smoker. So they gather the people neighborhood, the people who live in the neighborhood, that who are directly affected by the riverbanks or enjoy the riverbanks. So they presented their results, and as well as they tell the neighborhood about how polluted the river is, and we should do some things. And also not just the presented the result, they also made suggestion that we should implement the rubbish bins along the riverbanks, because they noticed that it's only one in 2 kilometers, in only one in the riverbank. So it's not enough. And not just any type of the rubbish bin, they suggest this type. As you can see here, there is a hole for the smoker to put the cigarette butt. So because they presented that maybe the smoker afraid of making a fire, so that's why they threw to the water. So if we provide them this rubbish bin with a sideboard, then we can reduce the cigarette filter into the river bench. So after 1 month of implementation, they come back and they find out that the rubbish has been reduced dramatically, and they celebrate the good result together and with the neighborhood people as well. So that is the example of the activities. So let's look at more deeper and analyze the example that I just give to you. Is this a volunteering work? Yes, it is. So people are the classmate, the student in the class are very fun because they can leave the class and doing something. They can meet the people, they can present, and then a lot of people say good job and then appreciate them, and they can meet a lot of people. But does the activity give the relevant skill and knowledge? Yes, you see. It provides the opportunity for the student to develop the analysis skill. It also provides the students the knowledge about the population its causes when they discuss among the group, and also when they talk to the teacher and the lecturer in class. And throughout the interaction with the neighborhood, they also understand the concern and the worry of the residents. And during the interaction, they also be able to develop a communication skill and presentation skill. And when working in the group, they also learn how to work in the team and how to persuade people. And some of them also share that they are very they enjoy the activities, and they find that there is a responsibility to make the environment better. So they are thinking of going for the environmental faculties to further studies. And some of them figure out that they want to, they love to work with people, especially for the community. So they might think of the going for the social worker. So the activity give them thinking of the personal and career interest. So again, let me ask you, there is answer our the big question in the earlier that make the learning a fun and exciting. They have the group of students found that it's very fun and exciting during the program. And they also feel that they have learned a lot of knowledge that the lecturer intended to bring during the project, such as some of understanding about the environment, pollution, understand the different, and then develop different skill set like analysis, communication, presentation skills. So it's an example of how we can combine the learning and the volunteer activity in the class so that the entire experience is fun and exciting. And during the activity, we managed to give the relevant skill and knowledge for the participant, for the student. So that is the concept of the service service learning. And in a very simple way, service learning is the combining between the meaningful community service with some of the relevant knowledge and skill to develop the student, the participant, understand more about the knowledge, as well as develop more skill set that are very important for them in the future. So that is a symbol. You combine the meaningful work with what you want to learn, combine together. But let's go for more professional definition of service learning. So Jacobi in 1996 already give the definition that service learning is a form of experiential education in which students engage in activity that address the human and community needs together with the structure, opportunity, intentional design to promote the student learning and development. Reflection and reciprocity are key concepts of service learning. So in this definition, I already highlight like experiential education, human and community needs, which means that not just any activity, but the activity need to address the need from the community, and not just participate the activity for fun. It participate for promote the student and learning and development. So how we can join the meaningful activity at the same time promote the student learning. So it will be inside the concept of the reflection, which is giving you a time to think deeper and to link what you experience during the service activity into the academic study that you have in the class, as well as develop a new perspective. So that's the definition from the Jacobi. And another definition that the service learning is a cost-pay, credit-bearing educational experience that allows students to participate in again organized service activity, and this activity need to meet the community needs. And throughout that, giving the student the time to think, to analyze on the activity so that the student can gain further understanding of the course content and the broader appreciation of the discipline that the students are now in the universities, as well as enhanced sense of the civic responsibility. In these definitions, it gives you more detail that not just about learning the skill and knowledge, the student also can reflect their own responsibility to the society, and with that reflections, with that thinking of the responsibility, maybe lead to the action to make the society better, or just giving just train the compassion into the student for the beneficiary, about the beneficiary. And last of the definition that I want to bring here is for the more is for the lecturer or teacher, because it's a teaching method that the lecturer can use. We combine the community service with academic instruction, and it focuses on the critical, reflective thinking and civic responsibility. So it involves students in organized community service that addresses local needs while developing their academic skill, sense of responsibility, and commitment to the community. So it's kind of this definition already also emphasized on the civic responsibility and the commitment to the community. And it's also it's also the reason why I spent a lot of time in researching and doing the service learning and trying to teach the service learning into the university, because it's not just have the student to develop more skill. It's also have the student to think outside of their own individual. They think of the of the underprivileged people. They think of the society, and they will have a social sense, the heart to the community. And this is the mission of the education. Okay, one of the proverb that I love is education's the mind. The mind is mean the skill and knowledge. Without education, the heart is no education at all. So we are not just giving the new knowledge to the student. We also need to inspire them to use this knowledge. Need to inspire them to make use of their opportunity to go to class, to help those who are not be able to go to the class, or those who are underprivileged. So let's pause a little bit and let's hear about service learning from the Hong Kong Poly U. Hong Kong Poly U is one of the university in Asia that are really strongly focused on developing the service learning. So let's sit back and hear from them.
Before we are able to understand how service learning will impact our own studies, we first need to understand what we mean by service learning. We have already given you 3 different definitions of service learning from 3 different academic sources. If you haven't already read them, pause this video and quickly skim through them. You'll notice that there are some slight differences in each definition. However, all 3 of them contain the same basic components and structure. First, service learning is an academic pursuit with clearly defined learning objectives or outcomes. This is one of the elements which differentiates it from volunteering or other forms of service. One important goal of service learning, from your perspective as a student, is to enhance your own understanding of the subject material and develop your skills. This may be in your own field or discipline, or it may center around more broad skills development or around some important social issue of the time. The next element is the service element. This is the part of the service learning process where you, as a student, apply the knowledge and skills you acquire from the academic study to serve the community. Crucially, the service you provide must be of benefit to a third party. Most commonly, this will be with an individual or group who is in some ways disadvantaged or underserved. In order to qualify as service learning, your work must address some genuine need within the community that is being served. Finally, there is the reflection element. While not an explicit part of the name service learning, it is a core element of the approach. In order to establish the link between the academic and service elements, students must complete some sort of reflection task. It links the academic content with your service and turns your experience into learning. You are encouraged to reflect on your own experiences, the work you have done, the skills you have utilized and developed, and how these impact the material you are learning about. This act of reflection helps you to form your own connections between the material and the implementation. The aim is for this to be a more organic, practical, and focused form of learning where students draw their own conclusions based on authentic, real-life experiences. From our experience, most students find this form of learning more interesting and effective than traditional classroom learning, and they develop a stronger sense of civic-mindedness as a result. We will take a look at each of these elements in more detail later.
All right, so let's back to the slide. So I hope that the video clip also give you more clearer understanding about the service learning, as I mentioned before. And in this video clip, you also realize that they are talking a lot about reflection, which is the critical elements in the service learning. So just a little bit about the reflection, because in the later part, I also have a video clip about how we can do the critical reflection. Reflection is a process that for you to give you some time to think and to link from the experience that you have during the service activity to the knowledge, the skill, and the development of yourself or your group. So how you can learn from those experiences by answering some of the questions during the reflection, so that you can go deeper in the issue that you encounter during the project. So for example, if you provide the classes, English classes for the student in the rural area, so if you only just focus on making the slides better to provide the knowledge within during the reflections, so you won't learn a lot of things. So if you sit back and also the lecturer, for example, asks you why you need to provide this service to the student in a rural area, is there any inequality in accessibility to the quality educations between the rural and urban, and why it is important to provide for those students in the rural area. So the question that will give you to think deeper and to broaden your mindset, your perspective, and that's a reflection. So in this class, I just trying to summarize of what's important that you need to know and you need to prepare. So the first one is that you need to have the service activity that well planned to deliver to meet the community needs. And throughout the preparation of giving the service activity, you also need to identify some skill and knowledge that you need to learn, your group need to learn to serve better. And when you already design the service activity, then you need to discuss with your lecturer and your group about what kind of what is the learning outcome that you want, what you want to learn, what you want to achieve in the learning and developing. And of course, the important step that you need to do is the reflecting, doing the reflecting, so that whether you achieve the learning outcome, is any challenging and difficulty to achieve the learning outcome. And also learning about your beneficiary and reflect on your responsibility. Learn about how we can contribute to the society and to make society better. So that is all for today for the video. Thank you so much.